to the men and women and the families, to all who choose to serve this country, to all those who have had that choice shape their lives, thank you for your service this Veterans Day. And every day as a reminder of what it is to really show love for country through action. You are true Americans. You're also a vestige of the collective conviction that you may hate what another says. You may hate what another believes, but there are those among us who would literally put their lives on the line to defend the rights of others to those types of beliefs, and you are they. So thank you. Now we turn to something decidedly less, pretending to be about the good fight when really you're just about advantage over the other side. In less than 24 hours, the House is expected to end the longest government shutdown in American history. That is not the kind of history you should be wanting to make. Some are crowing that the Democrats caved, and as the movie said, the calls are coming from inside the House.
I can't f***ing believe it. They f***ing caved on the shutdown.
Look, don't let them spin you. The Democrats caved without a guaranteed extension of health care subsidies. Just a promise.
There's no way to defend this. You are right to be angry about it. I'm angry about it.
Some of my Democratic colleagues just decided that we're playing by the old set of rules, not the new set of rules, and may have rolled over.
If Chuck Schumer called you today or he dropped by your office or you went by his office, what would you say to him?
You've lost touch on foreign policy where you supported the war in Iraq and then a blank check to Netanyahu and you refused to endorse Mamdani. And then this is the second time you've had the shutdown fight and you've caved both times. And it's time for you to gracefully make way for a new generation.
It is a setup. The Democratic Party is about to change. Now, first you got the noise, right? Those are the click warriors that I was just showing you, or some of them, right? Some of them are players, some of them are pundits. And the pundits are just click warriors. They're just fomenting outrage because that's how they get paid, right? They are useful dupes for the agendas of others. We get that. But you got to look at the agenda, because the one that's at play right here, I believe, is going to be the most powerful play in politics. The signal, as opposed to the noise, is the ascendance of the populist movement on the left in reaction to MAGA. I call it MEGA. MEGA as in a bigger version of populist outrage. More people, broader base of concerns, and more change wanted or demanded. Now, I think the Democratic Party, they only see one opponent. They actually have two. You got MAGA on one side, but you got MEGA on the other. And while the Democrats, I believe, made a good point with this shutdown against MAGA, MEGA made an even bigger point about them. Now, all critical thinkers, that's what NewsNation is about, right? We have to see that the premise here of caving is flawed. Those blaming the 8 senators for ending the longest period of forced pain on the innocent in our history of shutdowns. If you're seeing this as caving, how did you see it ending? You saw it ending as a guaranteed extension of the subsidies? Then you're an idiot or you're lying or both. And it takes us to why they really did this. Senator Schumer and the other Democratic leaders were duped into this shutdown by MEGA. Why? Good reason and dicey reason. The good reason? Desperation to fight back against Trump. I get it. The base demands a muscular response, opposition to Trump. Stop letting him run all over you. I get it. Hence the Newsom tweets, and now this. But unlike the online antics, the Democrats have the right fight here. Affordability, specifically the crisis with cost in health care. Again, Democrats can talk about health care as a right, but access to a right is only as good as your ability to afford it. The idea of changing the dialogue to health care costs through the shutdown, that happened. Point made. And if there's a vote on the ACA subsidies and the right is against them, that impact on the poor is going to be heard loud and clear. So the idea of caving suggests that something more than making a point was expected. That's a setup. Who on the cave parade thought there was some other way this ends? No way the Republicans were going to reward Democrats for shutting down the government. Oh, that's what you say. No. That's what the Republicans say, or really MAGA, and that's what the Democrats said when they were in the majority during a shutdown. All of those in the cave parade, and among some of them, you're members of Congress. Why were those members of Congress not doing anything to make a deal? Reportedly, they were doing little to nothing to make anything happen. If you thought there was going to be a deal, why weren't you trying to work on one? Because it's a setup. And they wanted to have it both ways, and I think they're going to win. Get the resistance against Trump, right? Showing you'll shut down, you'll play your leverage, and then when it ends the only way you knew it could, other than the right getting rid of the filibuster, which you would have never stopped regretting, you win also because you get to make your own leaders look bad to make way for new leaders. Now, one irony, you know the 8 senators they keep telling you to vilify, right? Which is actually kind of stupid, and they should watch their language, because if something does happen to them, which is not that crazy these days, it's the last thing we need. Did you know that a few of those 8 were actually the only ones trying to get a deal done to make something happen on the ACA subsidies right now? See, this was a setup. Again, you may not like the idea, but it doesn't come from me. The idea of what this was about comes from the socialists' own playbook. The DSA laid out how they're actively planning a hostile takeover of the party to remake it in their own image, and part of that is getting rid of the leaders. Hence, the shutdown setup. And look, we've seen this movie before with MAGA. It's no longer the Republican Party, it's just MAGA. The populist outrage took it over. And I think we're going to see the same in the Democratic Party. I just hope MEGA doesn't become the same toxic version of itself that we're seeing with MAGA, where it's just against everything, everything is a lie, everything is blaming and dividing, and thereby MEGA would lose the opportunity they have to be better than what MAGA was for the majority, for the country. And again, whoever winds up leading the left has it right about what is wrong, and MAGA is on the wrong side of what is right. The latest is that they got this doctor in Congress, in the Senate, to claim costs are up with our health care because the ACA is corrupt and filled with ghost people. All right, look, forget the fact that enrollment in the ACA is up in his state, okay? This guy claims 40% of people not filing claims means there's rampant fraud. One, you're ignoring what multiple health experts say, which is that the data is double counting the number of enrollees, and that's how it works. You need people who don't make claims or make claims less often to help with costs. And you screwed that up when you fought against the mandate for healthy people to have any kind of coverage. So you just limited that pool because you wanted to sabotage the ACA. Again, the left has the right issue. The shutdown was never going to fix it. And those who forced the shutdown know this and got a twofer. The DSA and their fundamentalist friends got us talking about affordability. That's good. But they also hurt a lot of people for that conversation. Not least of all, Senator Chuck Schumer and the other Democratic leaders. Chuck got played, and he is just about cooked. As the man says, it's not easy being a turkey this close to Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.